Remember that famous sentence from Fallout? War. War never changes? Oh, well, neither does IGN, obviously. You think, after giving Crimson Desert a 6, a legendary, probably their most legendary 6 out of 10, after Dragon Age Veilguard got a 9 out of 10, by the way, just felt like reminding you, that they would learn their lesson and not want to become a internet punching bag in, at least less than a month. But no, 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 this is IGN we're talking about. Absolutely no self-awareness in the slightest. So they literally just keep on trying to tell people that Crimson Desert is somehow bad, that Crimson Desert does not deserve the praise, the love, the numbers that it has. And by the way, Crimson Desert still going extremely strong, by the way. And it's been literally already 3.5 weeks at this point. Very impressive performance, honestly. But IGN, not only did they release another stupid take on Crimson Desert, but they released it twice. Yes, this article right here is pretty much the exact, almost same article as this. One is on the 6th of April, the other one is, on the 7th. And they talk pretty much about the exact same thing. You cannot tell me that IGN is not trying their best to, just tell people lies, honestly, at this point. We are just so far beyond that point. In any case, this article is great. This article is great. Because what do you do when you have absolutely no real things to say about Crimson Desert being bad? And when you feel the urge to do it anyway, well, you grasp at the smallest straws ever. You're gonna enjoy this one, okay? I promise. After hundreds of hours, some Crimson Desert players are complaining. I have not seen people complain about this, but whatever you say, IGN, that the world has become too peaceful because they've basically killed all the enemies. Now, needless to say, this is literally kind of a situation of, oh no, my steak is too juicy, too buttery, too perfectly cooked. Oh no. Yes, IGN literally is this desperate to call Crimson Desert. They are legitimately that desperate to call Crimson Desert bad. Even for IGN, I think this is reaching, honestly, but hey, it is what it is. And the article is, well, every IGN article can be summarized by the headline typically, but, the article itself is pretty stupid and bad, obviously, also. Crimson Desert has a huge map and lengthy story that will take most players over 100 hours to work their way through. For most people, I think it's 150-ish hours, but this is effectively a problem that is not gonna really bother most people, okay? Let's be real. Most people don't finish Crimson Desert. Let's be real. Most people don't have the 100-hour mark in Crimson Desert. 100 hours to work their way through. But now Pearl Abyss action adventure has been out for a few weeks. Some are starting to complain that the open world has become too peaceful because they killed everything. Again, I have not heard anyone say this even once, by the way. Now, is this a problem? For some people, I guess, probably. But the reality is, if this becomes a problem to you, just make a new character. Just make a new cat. It's not rocket science. Just make a new character. How hard can that be? This is not Capcom we're talking about, where you need to buy a DLC to get another character slot if you want to play the game. One of the interesting things about Crimson Desert's design is that for the most part, enemies do not respawn, and camps which you can take over do not become repopulated with enemies once you clear them out. Missions are not repeatable, and there is no Skyrim-style Radiant quest system to generate random encounters for eternity. Only IGN unironically could somehow twist radiant quests into a almost positive spin. You gotta give it to IGN. They're not trying to be this wrong. They're just naturally really good at being wrong. I think this is very underrated. Of course, there are things to do in Crimson Desert once you reach the end game. You can wrap up any hangover quests, visit any explored areas, solve any leftover puzzles, and take on any bosses left standing. Yes, when you finish the main story, you have still a game to play. Shocking, great stuff, IGN. I now understand 6 out of 10 a little bit better, you know what I'm saying? But what happens if you killed all enemies in the game? That's something players are now running up against. IGN lies. We all know this. They literally gave Dragon Age Veilguard a 9 out of 10 because it ticked all the right boxes. And despite getting hundreds of hours of fun, despite having hundreds, imagine this is your unironic complaint. Imagine having hundreds of hours of fun in a game, but then saying, well, it should have added more hundreds of hours of fun in a single player game. Fun out of Crimson Desert by that point, some say there's a problem with it. This is what, the third time they have stated that there's a problem with the game in 4 paragraphs. This game has a pretty big. There you another one. Not many. Like, how does IGN finish a sentence with the game has problems and then start the next sentence with the game has problems in the same exact manner? Like, how? And how do they repeat it 4 times in an article? Like, who even reads this, honestly, except for idiots like me? Not many are realizing now due to the way most are playing it. Oh, I'm yawning. This game has pretty big issues. Not many are realizing right now due to the way most are playing it and will destroy some people's enjoyment, including my own. Whatever, a Reddit poster. Of course, a Reddit poster is complaining about something. Upvoted 2.9k times. Well, shit, maybe Reddit should make a video game then. Oh, wait, if they do, it's gonna be garbage. Times so far. This needs a fix for a long-term enjoyment. I think having 200 hours in a game kind of counts as long-term enjoyment, okay? What if the developers literally tell you, if you finish everything in the game, achieve 100% in everything, you're supposed to make a new character? What then? What then? Now, admittedly, could they make a new game plus? Maybe, probably, I don't know. It's definitely a possibility, but let's be honest. How many people are asking for New Game Plus currently in Crimson Desert? Most people are not even 1/3 done with Crimson Desert at this point. That's the brutal reality of the situation. Leave it to a goddamn Redditor to be pissed about something as absolutely insane as this. I guess that's just a normal life at nowadays, huh? In any case, this is just one more reason to detest IGN, and the fact that they released the same article 2 days in a row is also hilarious. Anyway, have a nice day. Bye.